think memes are everyday culture, and I think that when we think about how people are processing the COVID-19 pandemic, it's partially through memes.
The pandemic has shut down many things, but internet creativity is not one of them. In fact, memes are becoming an increasingly popular form of communication, according to experts in linguistics and media studies, who suggest when we look back on the COVID-19 crisis, we might be surprised by what we can learn from studying them. Fenwick McKelvey is an associate professor of communication studies at Concordia University who studies algorithmic media. McKelvey says memes offer valuable insight into the way people are communicating and thinking in 2020 about politics and the pandemic.
This is really trying to understand what it's like when everybody has a smartphone in their pocket, and what type of ways are they choosing to communicate. And in many ways, the memes are really rich in how much information you can get across. You can convey emotion, pop cultural references, humor. Like, they're very sophisticated ways of talking and discussing.
McKelvey says memes are one way Canadians are processing the pandemic and reacting to information from health officials and the government relating to COVID-19. McKelvey says memes, often meant to be a joke, can also highlight our mental health or emotional and economic status, and also bring attention to a group or society's general trust or distrust in their political leadership.
I think that we see that among the Democrat and liberal meme groups. And at the same time, on more of the political fringes, we see people using memes to create and share doubt and circulate sometimes conspiracy theories about the origins and the implications of the COVID-19 pandemic.
In a meme, you don't need to have truth, right? You don't... as long as that idea that's in the meme is connecting to other people and it's being shared by other people, that's all that really matters.
Nicole Rosen, Canada Research Chair in Language Interactions, says whether a meme is true or not doesn't make it more or less valuable to sociologists or digital archaeologists who will want to look back on the pandemic through the memes as a type of digital time capsule. The expressions, emotions, and art of regular everyday people is what is captured in a meme, Rosen says, and it will be very important in trying to understand how the COVID-19 experience was being dealt with by those living through it.
So they're actually really a good indicator of what your everyday person is thinking. Now, on the flip side, that can be really disturbing when you see what some people are actually thinking.
Rosen says memes, as a form of language, are also evolving faster than conventional spoken words. One meme posted in a single day can be shared and expanded on hundreds of thousands of times. So maybe the big question isn't what our memes are saying, but rather what our memes are saying about us. In Winnipeg, Mark Neufeld, City News.